This is probably one of the most severe non-war injuries that I've ever seen in a human being. You just can't imagine another human being doing this to another human being, frankly.
There we go.
I don't know how many kids can stand up to what he went through.
It's amazing to me that he lived. To be able to change one child's life is why you go into pediatrics.
And hopefully this will change his life in a way where I'm hoping that he has a purpose and a mission and an uplifting story at the end of it all, even though it was horrific to start with.
If he just takes some nice, good, easy breaths, he's doing beautifully. Hold his hand. Okay.
We'll see. All you can do is hope.
At a glance, he's a typical 8-year-old boy. But look a bit closer, and you see much more. We can't show you his face, can't even reveal his name, so we're calling him Akkoy, a Bengali name that means unbreakable. Fitting for a boy who survived an attack that should have killed him.
সবাই আমার গলা চিপে ধরছে, তারপরে গলা চিপে ধরা তারপরে উঠাইছে উঠায় তো বাঁধছে আর কই যে আবার ভিক্ষা করে।
Forced to beg and attacked when he refused. He was just 7 years old when it happened, the day he went missing.
Faina, কোনো জায়গা পাইনি কোনো পুলিশ গিরিবান্ধের সাইডে ওলের দ্বারা ডেলানটা বয়ে আমি চিৎকার করতেছি করার থেকে সবচেয়ে সময় হঠাৎ করে বাবা মা ডাকতেছে।
Akkoy was lying in the dirt not far from his one-room home in the slums of Dhaka, Bangladesh. His body broken. A rickshaw driver himself, with no education and little money, it was the only way Akkoy's father could afford to get to the hospital.
এরপরে রাত অনুমানিক রাত 12টার সময় লিস্কার করে আনা আমি এভাবে লিস্কার করে নিয়ে আসছি ওগুলি ব্লাড বাইরে জায়গা এবং ব্লাড ধরি আর এদিক দিয়ে দৌড় সম্পূর্ণ দেখা এদিক দিয়ে ইনফোর্ট একবারে মজুর বাইরে গেছে গা আর এদিক দিয়ে বাইরে জায়গা ওরা থেকে দায়িত্ব দেওয়া লাগে।
And the final cruelty, Akkoy's penis was cut off, amputated. Nearly 2 years later, his father still feels the pain and anguish he felt that day.
যখন ওটা খাটা আর পুরুষ নঙ্গাটা নাই এরপর আমি যখন দিয়ে আসমানটা আমার উপরে মাথা ভাঙ্গে পড়ছি এর চেয়ে পৃথিবীর মধ্যে এর চেয়ে খারাপ আর মনে হয় কোনো কাজের মধ্যে মনে লাগে না এত খারাপ লাগে মনটা আমার মনটা বলছে যে এই সময় আমি বাবা হয়ে ছেলে নিরাপত্তা দিতে পারলাম না এর চেয়ে পৃথিবীতে আর আমার আর কেউ নেই।
Security forces protect the boy now. Akkoy is the key witness in the trial of his alleged attackers, members of a gang accused of routinely kidnapping children and forcing them to beg. So the whole family lives in the care of an elite paramilitary force called Rapid Action Battalion, or RAB.
He's the only witness, not only the man, the only witness who saw everything by his own eyes. So this is very important and to protect him.
Akoy's father longs for simpler times before the attack. He says they were poor but happy.
আগের দিন যখনটা যেন ওইটাই আমাদের এই খুব ভালো ছিল, সারাদিনে একবার খাইলেও খুব ভালো ছিল। এখন মনের মধ্যে এরকম একটা ভয়, এর এবাদত আসি কথা ঠিক থাকলো, মনের নিরাপত্তা দিতেছে ওইটা সত্য, কিন্তু মনের মধ্যে যে একটা ভয়।
He could never have guessed that a complete stranger halfway around the world would be responsible for helping put his family back together again. American businessman Aram Kovac happened to be watching CNN with his wife when we reported Akoy's story.
It's one of those stories that you almost get up off your seat to get closer to pay attention to what you're seeing because it's so horrific and so unbelievable.
5 minutes of television that would change two families' lives.
I usually don't cry over things, but when I saw this little boy, and maybe it's because I'm a father too, so watching your story really, really moved me. And it was one of those things that, you know, this is like the first time in my life that I was actually moved to do something. And that's when I reached out to CNN and said, hey, listen, you know, is there something that we can do to help him?
A simple question with huge implications. It starts a chain reaction of kindness and compassion. Back in Bangladesh, the boy's most urgent need is reconstructive surgery to rebuild his penis, a complicated operation not available in his own country. So we make a call to Johns Hopkins Children's Center, home to one of the top pediatric urologists in the United States, Dr. John Gerhardt. He immediately agreed to take the case for free.
The circumstances of the injury were really what brought it to me, that the child was taken away from his family. He was harmed by these people. I just thought it was a heart-rending story. And even though he's in Bangladesh and I'm in Baltimore, to be able to change one child's life is why you go into pediatrics.
With doctors offering to donate their services and Aram agreeing to pay the rest of the family's expenses, Akoy and his father find themselves preparing for a journey to the United States, a place they know almost nothing about.
Let him show us how he washes his hands.
So they've come to the Bangladesh office of the International Organization for Migration. IOM is trained to teach them what to expect and help prevent culture shock.
Okay.
Akoy catches on quickly. For his father, it's more daunting.
এটা আমার মনটা মধ্যে অনেক দুঃখিত, আমার লেখাপড়া নাই, মূর্খ মানুষ, সিনার একটু প্রবলেম হইতে পারে, কারণ একটু ভয় সাধারণ একটু ভয় করতে পারে। করগুলো আপনারা যে প্রতিপক্ষরা আছেন দুঃসাহসিত দিতেছেন, যে বুদ্ধবস্ত থাকতেছেন, তার চেয়ে আমার কোনো আপত্তি নাই। আমার মূল ঘটনা হলো ছেলের চিকিৎসাটা আল্লাহ তাআলা।
They're also in the caring hands of Alina Khan. The prominent human rights attorney has been by their side, advocating for them for free since shortly after the attack. As the boy's court-appointed guardian, she's going to the U.S. with them. But Akoy's mother is staying behind. She has two other children to care for, Akoy's older brother and younger sister. The day before Akoy leaves is almost unbearable for her. A deeply religious woman, she turns to prayer.
দোয়া করি, ছেলের লাগে দোয়া করি। আল্লাহ আমার ছেলের যে অঙ্গটা নিছে, এই অঙ্গটাতে ফিরতে আবার জান্নাত দিয়ে আমার কাছে চাই। আমার ছেলের অঙ্গরা যেভাবে গেছে এইভাবে ফিরতে আবার অঙ্গরাই যা চাই আমার কাছে।
Akoy's father wants that too, but he knows there are no guarantees.
আমি আশা করি সে সুস্থ হবে, ইনশাল্লাহ হবে।
The following morning, they leave for the airport.
আর ও চায় দোয়া করেন যে ভালোভাবে যায়, যে আশা নিয়ে যাচ্ছে সেটা যেন ঠিক হয়, ঠিক আছে? আল্লাহর কাছে সুবিধা, হ্যাঁ আমি দেশে নিয়ে যাচ্ছি। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আর চিন্তা করেন না, ঠিক আছে? তবে তো মাকে বল আল্লাহ হাফেজ, ভালো থেকো, ঈদ করো ভালো করে। আচ্ছা।
The travel from Dhaka to Washington is 17 hours long. And we've just learned the flight is delayed. We're anxious. It's been more than a year since we first reported on the little boy from Bangladesh.
A year plus in the making. Wow.
More than a year since American businessman Aram Kovac reached out to us saying he wanted to help.
Hi, Aram. It's Sarah Sider from CNN. Hi. Thank you very much. So, we are at the airport in Washington, and we're waiting for him and his father to arrive.
Like us, Aram has come to meet Akoy, the little boy who captured his heart. He enlisted the support of his wife, Branka, and his friend and business partner, Tom Shaver. The three of them are now in Baltimore, waiting in the townhouse where Akoy and his father will stay for the next 5 weeks.
It's kind of weird. It's a little surreal, to be honest.
Finally, we see them.
Hello, Beta. How are you? Was it good?
Fine.
Did you have a good time? We're happy to see you. You sleepy?
Yeah. I was sick and just sometimes it's the weakness.
Oh, he was feeling tired.
Long journey.
Very long journey. But you're smiling as usual.
They've just come off a long flight and still have a long car ride ahead of them. It's all new and exciting for Akoy, but weary from travel, he sleeps for most of the ride to Baltimore.
Hi. Welcome. Hello. I'm Aram. Nice to meet you. How are you?
It's late afternoon when we arrive.
I'm Aram. Nice to meet you.
She is better.
Great. How are you? Well, you've been on our minds for about a year or so I'm glad to meet you, and I'm glad that you're here.
Aram had asked for a list of Akoy's favorite things.
I have a little gift for you. Can I give it to you?
Yes.
Yes.
This is one of them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The new ball is a far cry from the tattered one we kicked around in Dhaka just 2 days ago. CNN producer Saeed Ahmed, a native of Bangladesh, translates for Aram.
Saeed, can you ask him how was his trip? It was good. It was good. Are you tired? Tired? Yeah.
Did he sleep on the plane?
No. Too excited. Give me 5. You know how to do this? You go like this. Go like this. Make a fist. You go, oh.
There's one restroom here, there's a bedroom over there.
They look around the house Aram rented for them. It's so typically American and so different from what they're used to. For Aram, meeting Akoy and his father is emotional. He's waited a long time for this moment.
Happy to see you. Cool. Well, we'll figure out next steps. Go to the aquarium, maybe. Yeah, beautiful day.
The next morning, Aram arrives to spend the day with the family.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good
Sweetheart.
He says seeing, Aram, he just said that he had a really nice night last night. He slept well. But seeing you, he's feeling even better now. Good. Well, thank you. Feelings mutual.
Volleyball.
With everyone well rested, today is all about having fun. Aram wants the family to relax. He knows what they've been through and what lies ahead.
Okay, 1, 2.
They're all smiles for the camera.
Thank you.
But as they head out to see the sights, something is troubling Akoy's father.
ওনারা যেন সাহায্য করতেছেন কিসের জন্য বা কি মনোমতির জন্য
He wants to know, why are you helping him? Like, what prompted you to help him? Because I love him. And it was just one of those moments that from one human being to another, I felt his grief, I felt his pain, and I just wanted to do something. I mean, if it was me, I was hoping somebody else would do the same thing for me.
একটা মানুষ আরেকটা মানুষের ভালোবাসার জন্য এটা করা হচ্ছে, এটা ছাড়া আর অন্য কোনো কারণ না। তার জন্য
It's just what we do. It's just what we do. Human beings.
Tears dried and tension gone, they relax and enjoy each other's company. It's even interesting that language really seems to be no barrier whatsoever, because you find ways to communicate, through signs and through gestures. One of Akoy's favorite stops today is a playground. He's never seen one before.
Ready. Okay.
আরো জোরে, which means faster.
I want it.
না তুমি করো।
অনেক জোরে দেখা দেন, জোরে।
Do it really hard.
যত শক্তি আছে দেন।
With all your force.
Yes.
Akoy had fun today. It's exactly what Aram wanted, and exactly what Akoy needs, considering the painful reality of what lies ahead.
So we can cross.
It's Monday morning. Akoy, his father, and their advocate Alina Khan arrive at the world-renowned Johns Hopkins Children's Center. Jeff Phelps is the hospital's international care coordinator.
You guys tired from jet lag at all?
No, he's not.
As he escorts them door to door, they're struck by the contrast, how different it is from the dark, crowded 1940s-era hospital building in Bangladesh, where Akoy spent 3 months after he was attacked.
She's explaining the reason why it's not crowded over here, saying that everybody has the time.
But for Akoy's father, these beautiful surroundings mean nothing if the surgery is not successful. And he has a clear-cut measure for success: fertility. His son's ability to have children the old-fashioned way. Today, he's meeting the doctors who will operate on his son just 3 days from now. He's eager to hear that everything, medically speaking, will be okay, because so much of Akoy's life is not okay. Back home in Bangladesh, a difficult trial awaits his return. Akoy is the key witness in the case against the men accused of attacking him. 5 suspects were arrested and charged with attempted murder. 4 others are still at large. Investigators say they were all part of a criminal gang that kidnapped poor children from the streets of Dhaka, purposely crippled them, then forced them back on the streets to beg. At a police press conference after the arrest, one of the suspects made a chilling confession. Despite this public confession, he pled not guilty and is still on trial. RAB investigators say the gang actually thought they had killed Akoy when they left him lying in the dirt.
ওর গলা কেটে ফেলেছে, ওর পুরো বুকটা কেটেছে, আর ওর গোপন অঙ্গটা কেটে দিয়েছে। এবং গোপন অঙ্গটা কেটেছে নিজে, সেই বুকটা বড় দেবে কিভাবে গোপন অঙ্গটা কেটেছে ছোট বাচ্চাকে। এই ছোট বাচ্চাটা আর ভবিষ্যৎ রয়েছে, তার গোপন অঙ্গ নাই। একে কিন্তু মেরে ফেলে দিয়েছিল তারা, আর তারা ভেবেছিল যে হি ইজ ডেড।
What they didn't count on was one strong-willed little boy who beat death and remembered each and every one of his attackers because they were guys he saw regularly in his neighborhood. The RAB commander wants to make an example of them. He hopes a stiff sentence will deter others from forcing children to beg.
We hope that there should be some appropriate punishment and exemplary punishment for these criminals, so that the rest of the country knows that for this type of offense, we have this type of serious punishment for you.
For Alina, who also runs the Bangladesh Human Rights Foundation, it's more personal.
রিয়েলি মানে এই গ্যাংটার যদি পানিশমেন্ট না হয় তাহলে অনেক বড় ক্ষতি হয়ে যাবে বাংলাদেশের জন্য বা অন্য শিশুদের জন্য ক্ষতি হবে।
For Akoy, it's a nightmare that won't end. He's afraid of the men who hurt him, worried about facing them in court.
He hates those criminals. You know, he speaks very bad about those criminals.
Ever since the attack, this sweet, happy child has developed a darker side. He talks about revenge, about getting back at the bad men, about killing them. When I was with him in Bangladesh, just a few days before he left for the US, I asked him what he wants to be when he grows up. He says he wants the men who attacked him to hang. That worries his father.
সবচেয়ে ভয় আমার ওইটাই থাকবে নিশার দুনিয়াত। এটা আমি চাই না, আমি সন্ত্রাসের বাবা হইতে চাই না। আমি চাই একটা আমার মতো শান্তি সুস্থ ভালো একটা মানুষ যেন হয়।
It worries Aram too. It's one of the main reasons he was inspired to help. He hopes this trip to the US will help change Akoy's outlook and restore his faith in humanity.
Not everybody in the world is evil, and hopefully we can undo some of the fear that I'm sure he has experienced through the course of this horrible tragedy to grow up a normal, happy human being that can hopefully contribute to society.
But thoughts about the future are set aside at the moment.
Let me just have a yeah, that'd be great.
This is the focus now. Akoy has 3 doctor's appointments today, several pre-op tests tomorrow, and major surgery on Thursday. It's going to be a long week. Akoy and his family are meeting Dr. John Gearhart for the first time.
How are you? Good.
Fine.
Nice to see you.
He's the first doctor we called when we learned Akoy needs an operation that's not available in Bangladesh.
You're welcome.
As one of the top pediatric urologists in the United States, Dr. Gearhart is highly trained to help rebuild Akoy's penis, which was cut off by a gang accused of trying to force him to beg.
After I heard the story, I just thought it was very unfair for this child to be relegated to a second-class role in society because of the injury he had, and I thought we could do something about it.
And he didn't just agree to treat Akoy, he offered to do it for free. Dr. Gearhart's initial examination reveals a worst-case scenario.
We've seen young men coming back from Iraq who've been injured with rocket-propelled grenades and other things more severe than this. But just as far as an injury committed by one person against another to a child, this is the most severe genital injury that I've ever seen in 23 years of doing this. Questions?
He is confident that he can help Akoy, but admits it won't be easy.
This is an operation that's not in a book anywhere, okay? This will be kind of, we'll sort of develop this operation as we go along.
And he can't do it alone. Something this complex requires a team.
Hi, you're Dad? Yeah. Okay, nice to meet you. How are you? I'm Dr. Radet.
So he's drafted another expert.
All right, big guy, we're just going to take a look here.
Plastic surgeon Dr. Rick Radet also agreed to treat Akoy for free.
And put your hands to your side so I can get a good go. Good. I just want to take a look at your tummy too.
This is the pubic bone, that hard bone you can feel down there, and this is the outside of the bony portion of the penis. And when they injured him, they amputated his penis probably somewhere in this area right here, and they also removed one of his testes as well, so he has one instead of two.
Dr. Redette says the surgery could take 8 to 10 hours. He explains the procedure to the family.
And the reason that's the best option is because it's penile tissue.
It's hard to understand for those of us who speak English, and even more confusing for those who don't.
The procedure we do here on children and young adults that have this type of injury is transplant tissue from the forearm, reconstruct it into a penis, and then transplant it down to the groin.
He says it will look like a normal penis, but it won't be fully functional.
The bad thing about that operation is he won't be able to get an erection without having something put in there when he's older to give him that ability, some type of implant.
The information is translated, but Akoy's father wants to make sure he understands exactly what the doctor is saying.
কিছু যুবক হয়েছে যে সংসারদারিতে করবে বা এটা কি লাগবে না
He needs something that's called an implant.
It is devastating news for the boy's impoverished father. He hoped this trip to Johns Hopkins would fix everything without more surgery later. Surgery he knows he can't afford. He worries his son will be ostracized at home in Bangladesh. In a culture where being able to have children is not just a priority, it means everything. But he puts on a brave face for his very brave son.
বলতেছে ভয় না ভালো লাগে বুঝছো
আমার ভয় নেই।
Tuesday morning, and the family is back at the hospital for another round of appointments and tests.
My name's Nancy. Okay? So I'm just going to check a couple things here.
Today is all about getting him ready for surgery.
So just tell him I'm going to check his blood pressure and his temperature, see how much he weighs. Okay, it's going to set your arm. This is going to go across your forehead, behind your ear, okay? Just step up here, let's see how big you are.
It's a long day of pre-op questions and tests.
I'm just going to go through his instructions for surgery.
But now they're ready. Akoy is up before the sun. Check-in time for surgery, 6:45 a.m. If he's nervous, he doesn't show it, impressing hospital officials with the English he's learned since arriving in the United States just 6 days ago.
1 2
1 2 3 4
Yeah.
As he arrives, he's excited to see that we're already here, the entire CNN crew dressed in hospital scrubs.
You ready?
Ready.
Yes. My name is Kim. How are you? Very nice to meet you. You have a great smile.
Kim Sexton is Akoy's pre-op nurse. She leads him back to the area where he'll stay until he's wheeled into the operating room.
So this is where you're going to stay before your procedure, okay?
As Akoy settles in, Kim explains through a hospital translator how the day will unfold.
Oh, absolutely.
She says that when Akoy is taken to the operating room, his father and Alina will be allowed to go with him, and they'll be able to stay with him until the anesthesia puts him to sleep. Despite the seriousness of the conversation,
You got a tickle.
Akoy maintains his happy disposition. It amazes everyone who meets him.
For a boy who's been through this kind of trauma and seen this many doctors, I can't believe he's not scared of hospitals. He's not scared of doctors, and I was amazed by that.
I think everyone that's met him inside and out of the operating room has talked about how resilient he is. He seems like such a normal boy for having gone through something this horrific.
So I'm going to close the curtain and let him get dressed. He needs to take everything off and put the hospital top and bottom on.
So this is the second time that his father has had to see him in the hospital, and if you look at his face, he is clearly nervous about what's going on, but did express that this is night and day compared to when he had to bring him to the hospital in Bangladesh. He's doing his best to hide his anxiety.
ছেলের অপারেশন হলে বাবা মা কতটুকু কি টেনশন কিন্তু আমরা জানি কিছু না কিছু যতই দুঃসাহসী কিছু না কিছু টেনশন করতে হয়
Okay. So boys ready.
Hey pal, how are you? You okay? Yeah.
Dr. Radette stops by to see if anyone has any final questions before surgery, and to get Akoy's father to sign an important piece of paper.
It just gives us permission to do surgery.
It won't be long now. Akoy makes a final call to his mother back home in Bangladesh.
হ্যালো আমার চিকিৎসা হচ্ছে এমনই হচ্ছে দোয়া করো
She tells him she will pray for him, and she's not the only one.
হ্যাঁ আসি দেখতো সাহস লাগতো কোনো ভয় নেই সাহস লাগবা
It's hard to know whether Akoy's father is urging his son to be brave or himself. Akoy needs no convincing. He is fearless
There we go.
and determined until moments before he's put to sleep.
Going to be a bit smelly for him now.
আব্বু
এই তো আমরা আসছি তো সবাই আসছি
Oh,
এই তো আমরা
it'll be about 10
আসছি
seconds, 15 seconds, and he'll be asleep.
আমরা সবাই আসছি
It's 9 a.m. A team of doctors and nurses are preparing for a complicated operation that could take 8 to 10 hours. An anesthesiologist watches over Akoy. Just outside the OR, the little boy's father can only pray.
দয়া করছি আল্লাহ আমার ছেলে করে সাকসেসফুল কর
And wait. Back in the OR, plastic surgeon Dr. Rick Radette is ready. He plans to cut a large skin graft from the boy's little arm and use it to form his new penis. Perhaps even more shocking than the nature of this surgery, it's an operation Dr. Radette does often.
We have a unique situation here in that we see a lot of kids with congenital deformities of the penis. We have a lot of experience reconstructing a penis using microvascular techniques, taking tissue from the forearm. And everyone has two arteries that go to their hand, and you can take one of those arteries with a nice big piece of skin and fat and roll that into something that looks like a penis.
Dr. Radette and his plastics team are ready for their part in this operation, but it's the urologist, Dr. John Gearhart, who will make the first cut.
Hey, is there any reason we should think about
As Dr. Gearhart suits up for surgery, he and Dr. Radette put their heads together. The team approach they described in full play.
You know, the best thing for something like this is a multidisciplinary approach. We have a pediatric urologist, pediatric plastic surgeon, we have a general surgeon who will help us expose the vessels in the groin if we need to do this transplant. One of the great things about coming to a hospital like this is you have experts from multiple specialties that are able to sort this out, work together, for the betterment of the patient.
We'll see, man. So we're gonna make a little incision right here. Just fold that open.
Everything now rides on what Dr. Gearhart finds.
This is what the guys obviously did in Bangladesh.
What the two doctors are hoping is that Akoy was left with enough of his own penile tissue hidden inside his body that they can pull out. Then they won't have to make him a new penis using tissue from his arm.
We'll see if we can get up out of here. I mean, he may just be so immersed in scar tissue.
The test they did earlier in the week suggest there won't be enough there.
We're still not quite down to the pubic bone. We're getting there.
But they can hope.
All right, there's the pubic bone there, Rick. Okay. So we're down to the pubic bone all the way around. So now the question that begs an answer is, do we release this a bit, come around the urethra?
Yeah, just leave the skin around it.
Correct. Just to see if that might get us a wee bit more length.
The doctors consult a penile growth chart to determine how much tissue they need for a boy Akoy's age.
All right, so he's 8. All right, so the stretched penile length of a mean would be between 4 and 5. Okay? Okay, so let's have a look. It's nice to read the science because that'll help us.
The crucial moment arrives.
I tell you, Rick, I'm getting a little more encouraged.
Yeah.
I really am.
If we push the scrotum down to the base of it like we do, basically everything you see is what you get.
Right, correct. It gives it an optical illusion, too, a bit of more length, too.
Good thing is it's sensate, too.
It's sensate, absolutely. So the good Lord made this one sensate, that's right. And really, if you look at this now, Rick, we can also certainly tack the urethra up here more.
Yeah, and then build around it. And it's almost like just a very
mild hypospatus. Yeah. Can we have a ruler? Yeah. Good for him. Good for him.
We were very happily surprised that when we opened this up, some of the penis that was left after the amputation had retracted back into the body. And then all boys and men have a fair amount of penis that's also inside the body. So by removing a lot of the scar tissue from the residual penis that was outside of the body and releasing some of these ligaments that keep the internal portion of the penis inside, we were able to pull everything out and give him normal length for a boy his age.
Okay, so stretched penile length right now is right at 6, okay? So where does that put him in boys his age? He's 8, so it'd be right at the mean, wouldn't it? See what I do? I wouldn't do that, I think we see what we got here. So I have to say, Rick was right. I was more despondent. Rick was more optimistic.
And just like that, exactly 34 minutes after he walked into the operating room, Dr. Gearhart walks out. Armed with good news, he heads straight for the waiting room.
How are you? Good to see you. Okay. So you're going to interpret for us? Okay, good. So we have some wonderful news. Wonderful news. After we took all the scar tissue away and after we took all the skin away, we actually found that there's a reasonable amount of penis down submerged under the skin, under the scar, that's usable. Okay. So therefore, we're not going to have to make him a new penis.
Inshallah.
Right. I know what that means. So what we'll do now is that, and we were also able to move the urethra, the tube that he urinates from, to the tip of his penis.
Very good. So ওর ভিতরে যে ওই নালীটা আছে তারপরে ওই সমস্ত কিছু এটা করে দিতে পারবে এবং আর মানে উপর পর্যন্ত করতে পারবে ওখান থেকে সে পিপিটাও করতে পারবে very good
Very good, yes. So it's not as a complex operation. You'll get well sooner and you'll get to go home quicker. You're welcome. You're welcome. Good to see you. Pleasure. Pleasure. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. It's kind. My pleasure.
না আপনার দোয়া আল্লাহ
But the surgery is far from over. The urology team found enough penile tissue inside Akkoy's body to form a penis on the outside. Now it's up to the plastic surgeon, Dr. Radette, to cover it with skin and make it look normal. It takes him about 2 hours.
That's good, man.
We're bringing the graft around it. All I did was sew to that patch of skin
That's
that
what
you
I did,
left,
yeah.
and I cranked it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. We
See
can
that?
chop off some more of that little stuff there.
Yeah, looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, looks great. I think we helped him. I told his dad he'll go home quicker. He'll get well quicker. Complication rate will be less.
Well, it gets an erection.
It's fine. It's
It's
his.
sensate. It's his.
Right. And it'll grow.
Yeah.
It will grow.
Oh, it's a perfect solution for the kid, I think.
A fully functional penis. He won't need an implant. He can have a normal sex life.
Good. I think we helped him. Man.
Yep.
That's good.
The surgery now over, Dr. Radette heads to the waiting room.
We just finished. Everything went perfectly. He's doing really, really well. It couldn't have gone better. So it'll have good sensation. He'll be able to pee out of the tip of the penis, and he'll be able to have erections when he gets older.
তো সবকিছু ঠিক আছে একদম পুরো যেটা আপনি ভাবছিলেন সবকিছু ঠিক আছে
So it went perfectly. Couldn't have gone better. Absolute
Thank you
best
very much,
solution.
doctor.
Yep, you bet.
Instead of 10 hours on the operating table, the surgery took less than 3, and the outcome miraculous.
We were pretty surprised. Dr. Gerhard did an MRI the day before and had one of the radiologists look at it with him, and we didn't think he had enough tissue there. But once we started opening everything up in preparation for doing the arm flap, it became clear that we could do a really good job just with what he had.
Okay,
all right.
Big excellent doctor and
We'll come by this afternoon and take another look at him when we're done with our arm surgery. Okay.
As they wait for Akkoy to wake up, they have time to reflect on what brought them here. A simple act of kindness from a stranger who is now a friend.
ভালো মন্দের মধ্যে দিয়ে আমি বিশ্বাস করি যেমন আরাম এসছে আরামের বউ ব্র্যাঙ্ক আসছে এই যে মানসিকতা তারা যে সাপোর্ট করছে তারা যে তাদেরকে একটা পথ দেখায় নিয়ে চলে গেল আমার মনে হয় বাংলাদেশের যদি কেউ এটা দেখে তারাও এটাকে অনুসরণ করবে ফলো করবে
ওইটাই বললাম যে ওনার একটা ফেরেশতা ওনাকে আমি মনের থেকে দোয়া করি যে ওনার ছেলে মনে করা
Very soon, Akkoy will be awake.
Hi.
Soon he'll be running and playing and looking to the future.
1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do more basketball. There.
First, he has a long recovery ahead of him. Not as long as it could have been, but long nonetheless. Akkoy's father and his advocate Alina Khan have already heard the good news from the doctors, but they're eager to see for themselves.
Hello, how are you? He's doing great. My name's Adrian, and I'll be taking care of your son, okay, while he's here in the recovery room. He's still sleepy.
Just a touch and father's touch. Just
Oh, you can touch, yeah.
একটুখানি হাত দিয়ে
He's sleeping, but he'll wake up in just a little bit. But you can touch him. Yeah. Does Dad have any questions?
কোশ্চেন আছে ওটা স্যার
না একটু খেয়ালে একটু
হ্যাঁ he said no question is no more question but you take care of this boy
Oh, we will. We will. He's in good hands. I promise you that. Okay?
মানে আমি প্রতিজ্ঞা করছি যে আমি ভালো করে দেখব
We take care of him just like he's our own. Okay? He's sleeping now, but when he's awake, he'll be able to push that. Look, see, he's already moving his hands.
A smile and a simple gesture. It's clear Akoy's father can finally relax.
2 ঘন্টা টাইম নিয়েছে অপারেশনটা
It's the morning after surgery.
It's going to do your temperature, okay? So cross your ear, behind your ear right there. Perfect.
Akoy is hungry and not happy with the hospital food.
Do you hurt anywhere else?
In so many ways, he's a typical 8-year-old boy.
Do you like your Xbox games? Like playing? Yeah.
His father appears to be in good spirits. CNN producer Saeed Ahmed asks how he's doing.
মায়ের মন শান্তি কি সঠিকভাবে হয়
He says that he's feeling great, but as a dad, until his son is up and about and walking, he won't be fully relieved.
Children are resilient, so recovery is quick. The brave Bangladeshi boy who already fought off death once has triumphed again.
কি লাগে এটা এটা কেন লাগে
Today, Akoy and his father are packing their bags, preparing to return home.
B, C.
Alina Khan dreams of an education for Akoy. He's 8 years old and has never been to school. Can't read, can't write.
Do you want to go to school?
Alina is encouraging him and tutors him every chance she gets. She'd like him to be the first person in his family to be educated.
এখন ওকে নিয়ে যে স্বপ্নটা ওকে লেখাপড়া শেখাতে হবে, কারণ ও লেখাপড়া জানে না। ও লেখাপড়া শেখার পর ও যাতে বড় হয়ে মানুষের সেবায় কাজ করে, মানুষের জন্য কাজ করে, এবং একটা পর্যায়ে যেন সে ভাবতে শেখে যে যে কষ্টটা ও পেয়েছে এটা যেন আর কোনো বাচ্চা না পায়, কোনো মানুষ যাতে না পায়।
Aram also has big dreams for Akoy. A better outlook, a better life.
We want to be able to give him some kind of an opportunity where for the future he would change his thinking to believe that there is goodness in this world and there's people that care, and maybe give him an opportunity to move forward with his life in a way where he's happy, healthy, thriving, and can contribute to humanity.
Gets married and has a family and goes on with his life.
Before they leave Baltimore, we ask Akoy again what he wants to be when he grows up. But this time, his answer is different. It's filled with hope.
মানুষকে বাঁচাবো, গরিব মানুষকে বাঁচাবো, আমি টাকা নিব না।